Good morning. This is the Paradise Unicorn Priestess bringing you day 250 of A Course in Miracles, the Yin translation, where we use female words. This would be September 7th if you're starting at the new year. The forgiving dream. The slave of idols is a willing slave, for willing she must be to let herself bow down in worship to what has no life and seek for power in the powerless. What happened to the holy child of God that this could be her wish? To let herself fall lower than the stones upon the ground and look to idols that they raise her up? Hear then the story in the dream you made, and ask yourself if it be not the truth that you believe that it is not a dream. A dream of judgment came into the mind that God created perfect as herself, and in that dream was heaven changed to hell, and God made enemy unto her child. How can God's child awaken from the dream? It is a dream of judgment. So must she judge not, and she will waken, for the dream will seem to last, while she is part of it. Judge not, for she who judges will have need of idols, which will hold the judgment off from resting on herself. Nor can she know the self she has condemned. Judge not, because you make yourself a part of evil dreams, where idols are your true identity, and your salvation from the judgment laid in terror and in guilt upon yourself. All figures in the dream are idols, made to save you from the dream, yet they are part of what they have been made to save you from. And thus does an idol keep the dream alive and terrible, for who could wish for one unless she were in terror and despair? And this the idol represents, and so its worship is the worship of despair and terror. And the dream from which they come, judgment, is an injustice to God's child, and it is justice that who judges her will not escape the penalty she laid upon herself within the dream she made. God knows of justice, not of penalty, but in the dream of judgment you attack and are condemned, and wish to be the slave of idols, which are interposed between your judgment and the penalty it brings. There can be no salvation in the dream as you are dreaming it, for idols must be part of it, to save you from what you believe you have accomplished and have done to make you sinful and put out the light within you. Little child, the light is there. You do but dream, and idols are the toys you dream you play with. Who has need of toys but children? They pretend they rule the world and give their toys the power to move about and talk and think and feel and speak for them. Yet everything their toys appear to do is in the minds of those who play with them. But they are eager to forget that they made up the dream in which their toys are real, nor recognize their wishes are their own. Nightmares are childish dreams. The toys have turned against the child who thought she made them real. Yet can a dream attack? Or can a toy grow large and dangerous and fierce and wild? This does the child believe, because she fears her thoughts and gives them to the toys instead. And their reality becomes her own, because they seem to save her from her thoughts. Yet do they keep her thoughts alive and real, but seen outside herself, where they can turn against her for her treachery to them. She thinks she needs them, that she may escape her thoughts, because she thinks the thoughts are real. And so she makes of anything a toy, to make her world remain outside herself, and play that she is but a part of it. There is a time when childhood should be past and gone forever. Seek not to retain the toys of children. Put them all away, for you have need of them no more. The dream of judgment is a children's game, in which the child becomes the mother, powerful, but with the little wisdom of a child. What hurts her is destroyed. What helps her blessed. Except she judges this as does a child who does not know what hurts and what will heal. And bad things seem to happen, and she is afraid of all the chaos in the world she thinks is governed by the laws she made. Yet is the real world unaffected by the world she thinks is real, nor have its laws been changed because she does not understand. The real world still is but a dream, except the figures have been changed. They are not seen as idols which betray. It is a dream in which no one is used to substitute for something else, nor interposed between the thoughts the mind conceives and what it sees. No one is used for something she is not, for childish things have all been put away, and what was once a dream of judgment now has changed into a dream where all is joy, because that is the purpose that it has. Only forgiving dreams can enter here, for time is almost over, and the forms that enter in the dream are now perceived as sisters, not in judgment but in love. Forgiving dreams have little need to last. They are not made to separate the mind from what it thinks. They do not seek to prove the dream is being dreamed by someone else. And in these dreams, a melody is heard that everyone remembers, though she has not heard it since before all time began. Forgiveness, once complete, brings timelessness so close, the song of heaven can be heard, not with the ears, but with the holiness that never left the altar, that abides forever deep within the child of God. And when she hears this song again, she knows she never heard it not. And where is time when dreams of judgment have been put away? Whenever you feel fear in any form, and you are fearful if you do not feel a deep content, a certainty of help, a calm assurance, heaven goes with you. Be sure you have made an idol and believe it will betray you. For beneath your hope that it will save you lie the guilt and pain of self-betrayal and uncertainty, so deep and bitter that the dream cannot conceal completely all your sense of doom. Your self-betrayal must result in fear, for fear is judgment, leading surely to the frantic search for idols and for death. Forgiving dreams remind you that you live in safety and have not attacked yourself. So do your childish terrors melt away, and dreams become a sign that you have made a new beginning, not another try to worship idols and to keep attack. Forgiving dreams are kind to everyone who figures in the dream, and so they bring the dreamer full release from dreams of fear. She does not fear her judgment, for she has judged no one, nor has she sought to be released through judgment from what judgment must impose. And all the while she is remembering what she forgot, when judgment seemed to be the way to save her from its penalty. The forgiving dream is still illusion. It is the dream provided by the Holy Spirit when we relinquish the nightmares that we chose for ourselves, that are riddled with our unprocessed guilt over believing that we shattered God. We didn't. We only dreamed we did. Have you ever had a dream where it felt like you did something bad, but then you woke up and you didn't do anything bad at all? But maybe you wondered if some part of you must be bad for having felt the need to dream the dream in the first place. Why would you dream of doing something bad unless some part of you were bad? A Course in Miracles teaches us that we think we did something bad that we didn't actually do. We think we did something that resulted in the creation of the entire physical universe. Everything that we think of as reality, but which is not reality. It's kind of funny that A Course in Miracles calls it the real world, while acknowledging that it is not the actual reality. Reality doesn't have form or time. The real world has a vastly different perception of time, because the purpose of time has largely been done away with. The purpose of time, as the Holy Spirit sees it, is to give us time to forgive. When that has been accomplished, time is not particularly important, and that is why paradise seems to last only an instant before God takes the final step, bringing all of creation into herself, to wake that it is one and is God. Today's text reading says that the dream that we're currently experiencing is a dream of judgment, and if we stop judging, we will wake. Well, that's all well and good, A Course in Miracles, but how on earth do I stop judging? Well, obviously, that's why we need salvation. We are undisciplined in our thoughts, A Course in Miracles tells us in the beginning, and it is teaching us to be disciplined. It is teaching us to relinquish thoughts that are harmful, attack thoughts, grievances, judgments, criticisms, the desire to correct others. All of these, a student of the Course learns to recognize faster and relinquish more quickly. This is something done entirely internally inside the mind. Somebody from the outside wouldn't even know it's happening. Early on in A Course in Miracles, one of the lessons is, I am never upset for the reason I think. And we are taught that the ego had us make this world so that we would have what we thought was a very justifiable, very reasonable, very understandable excuse to be upset and therefore to judge. Whenever we judge, initially there is a payoff, just as there is when you scratch a bug bite or a rash. There's an immediate feeling of relief, but it is short-lived. As the bug bite or rash becomes more angry and more inflamed, more itchy, more painful, much more uncomfortable. We have created for ourselves something convenient to judge that seems to be outside of ourselves, but since there is nothing outside of ourselves, we're only judging ourselves, and it doesn't take long for that to come back to us. What we think is outside of us is just a mirror held up to us. Our own thoughts are out there on display. Those are the thoughts that we are being asked to relinquish. And as we relinquish them one by one, they disappear. They are transformed, replaced by the happy dream. Today's text reading also reminds us that we are doing this to ourselves. It says, we are willing slaves. How else could something that is omnipotent, omniscient, convince themselves that they are among the most weak and frail things in this dangerous universe? There is a sentence in today's reading that is so convoluted that I'm just going to do my best to restate it here. Hear then your story in the dream you made, and ask yourself if it be not the truth that you believe that it is not a dream. Yeah, that's a lot of negatives in one sentence, and our vulnerable, weak, mortal brains that we created for ourselves in the dream kind of struggle with this. So, to my best parsing, it's saying, sit down, kiddos, let's tell you a story and see if it doesn't convince you that everything you thought was real is actually a dream. Anyway, hopefully I got that right. I have mentioned in this podcast before the movie Inception, which is very pertinent if we're talking about all that we think of reality as being a dream, because that's kind of the premise of the story, is that maybe everything that you've been told is reality in the story is a dream also. And we're kind of given the motivation for that. Why would a mind retreat into dreams, ever deeper dreams? And remember, in the movie, every time you go into a deeper level of the dream, there's more time in it. The idea being, if you went deep enough, you could spend millions of years in just a day in the real world. Just the deeper you go, the more time is spent in that dream. So let's say that you thought reality was so horrible you couldn't face it, and so you decided to go deeper and deeper and deeper into the dream, as many layers as you could, packing on as much time into the dream as you could to keep yourself from ever having to wake up and face the awful reality. If we think that we committed the worst sin ever by shattering God, and that the worst punishment possible is waiting for us, we don't even know what that could be, because we're omnipotent and omniscient and omnipresent and all of that stuff. So it's got to be pretty bad if we could be punished. So in terror, we flee deeper and deeper and deeper into the dream. And the dream just gets weirder and more limiting and more convoluted as we go. And there's no salvation to be found in it. Just more rabbit holes. Every new hope we find just turns out to be rubbish. Another good one to watch is Alice in Wonderland. Watch or read, where her dream just gets stranger and stranger, and she'll be introduced to a new thing that seems at first like it's, oh, this is cool, this is wonderful. It doesn't take long before it descends into complete, utter madness and nonsense. It's maddening to be faced with something that makes no sense. And A Course in Miracles says that's the real reason we're upset, is because we're facing a world that makes no sense. Deep down, we know it makes no sense. And yeah, that's upsetting. It is uncomfortable for the listener of A Course in Miracles who sees everything naturally through the ego, through the separate identity that is so sacred to us, that we hold so precious, to be told that all of the figures around us are idols, toys, and not real. We can't really wrap our head around this idea that we are all one. One child sitting there playing with toys, one child with little finger puppets on different fingers, acting out a play and interacting with each other and playing with each other, but it's really all the same child, just the puppets are on different fingers. It's disorienting. It is what we are being asked to understand. Today's text reading reminds us that if we are not experiencing deep contentment, certainty of help, and a calm assurance of heaven going with us wherever we are, it means that we are dealing with idols. And whenever we are dealing with idols, we are afraid that the idol will turn on us and betray us. We make the idols believing that they will save us from this sense of doom. But beneath the hope that we temporarily created for ourselves, the doom lurks, and we cannot hide it from ourselves. We are full of uncertainty. In the happy dream, everyone is blessed. No harm comes to anyone. No one is punished ever. The reading says, God knows of justice, not of punishment, not of penalty. We have come to think that justice means penalty and punishment, but God knows otherwise. In love, no one is punished ever, because no one has ever done anything deserving of punishment. That it seems to be the case is an illusion and has no reality. That is what we are being asked to see. If we are all-powerful, immortal, utterly beyond harm, how could anyone possibly sin? We had to dream that we were vulnerable, weak, mortal. We had to do that to ourselves so that we would have a reason to be upset. All right, today is the last day to review What is the World, found in the show notes. And then on to lesson 250. Let me not see myself as limited. Let me behold the child of God today and witness to her glory. Let me not try to obscure the holy light in her and see her strength diminished and reduced to frailty, nor perceive the lacks in her with which I would attack her sovereignty. She is your child, my mother, and today I would behold her gentleness instead of my illusions. She is what I am, and as I see her, so I see myself. Today I would see truly that this day I may at last identify with her. That's our lesson for the day. Happy practicing.